up, you guys? Welcome to the March 22nd edition of NBA 3-Ball presented by Establish the Run. I'm your host, Mike Gallagher, getting ready to talk some NBA news, some big action on Sunday, and some fantasy ads. And if you're watching this on YouTube, this is me right now. I'm all happy. Now I got if you're listening on the pod, I've got a picture of the crying dude with the smiley face mask. That's like me right now, because I'm over it. I'm not gonna be happy cheer intro guy anymore. So let's get to the big story of the day. And that is LaMelo Ball is expected to miss the rest of the season with a fracture to his wrist and his thumb area. Like, oh, God. First of all, how did the Hornets list him as probable for an x-ray? But that's beside the point. So, so many ways to spin this. You know, the Rookie of the Year approach. Is it Halliburton? Is it Anthony Edwards? Maybe LaMelo could still hold it. But let's talk mostly about what happens with the Hornets now. Obviously, Devontae Graham is really the big beneficiary. He lost pretty much most of his on-ball duties. He's going to get him back now. Rozier benefits, Hayward benefits. Those guys will be seeing more volume as LaMelo just had his fingerprints all over this offense. And they were playing so much faster, too. A lot of his lineups were playing so fast. So, you know, they may get more shots, but they won't get quite as many as a team because LaMelo's style of play. Like, rookies don't control the pace and control the tempo like LaMelo does. It just doesn't happen. So, you know, it won't be that great. Obviously, besides Devontae Graham, I would expect Malik Monk to really benefit. As Graham basically goes into LaMelo's role, while I'd expect Monk to kind of go into Graham's role. We'll see maybe a little bit more of the Martin Bros, but those are the two guys you look at first. Maybe Miles Bridges also slightly benefits as they go with bigger lineups. It'll be more matchup dependent. We know James Borrego will try to figure out what works. He likes to keep his rotations the same, so you know it's gonna be a competition here. He likes Cody Martin for defense, Caleb Martin for offense. But yeah, just the bottom line here is like, oh god, this is brutal. Let's get to the all-day basketball action on Sunday, and let's start with the Pacers winning in OT in Miami. Great win for them. Sabonis fouled out, still was pretty solid. Miles Turner, great defense, especially late. And Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, and TJ McConnell all starting to play better together. And Nate Bjorkman had talked about how Malcolm Brogdon's off-ball game will kind of have more value with LeVert and with McConnell. As actually his on-ball game was valuable today as he struggled with his shot, still got 10 dimes. Malcolm Brogdon's going to be really good, but this rotation is starting to be pretty solid. And Justin Holiday has not lost minutes. Very noteworthy. It looks like he's still going to hold value as Jeremy Lamb's pretty much just getting iced out. The Heat do not get Goran Dragic, but they do get Trevor Ariza. Plays late minutes too in overtime, sort of. Mild surprise to see him kind of have some important possessions. Didn't play great. That's fine. He's been rusty. Tyler Hero's been pretty bad. I really like him as a player, but he hasn't really taken any steps forward. A little disappointing to see that so far. Kelly Olynyk, because we're going to kind of see his minutes are going to dip a little bit. Bam was a monster today. 29-10 with plenty of defensive stats. Duncan Robinson, 40 minutes as well. They really let him fire away. Didn't have his shot, though. OKC had the tank commander in the fold with no Shea. No Horford, but they still win. Just a great team effort. Lou Dort had one of the best blocks of the season on John Wall to help seal the victory. Pokusevski, a little bit rocky, or especially early, but finished with an okay line. Got late minutes, too, despite poor play, so that really shows you how much they really trust him right now. Sweet Mikhailuk, best game as a Thunder player, clearly. Played more than I thought, because he played kind of really well in the second half to extend his minutes. Didn't get all the closing playing time. It was Ty Jerome kind of saw the rest of the late minutes. Also, Moses Brown didn't close. Just a great game from him. He's been so good on the glass, and he'll be productive in these games Horford sets, which are going to be a lot of them. He'll be good. We'll see if Horford gets traded. Poor Houston, man. Drops 20. Steven Silas' post-game just breaks your heart, man. You really feel for the guy for just taking all these losses. Kevin Porter Jr. almost hit for the status cycle today. Started out listed as out, questionable, probable, and he played. Didn't play a lot as John Wall and Oladipo got huge volume in playing time. 41 minutes for Depot, 35 for John Wall. Only a little bit of overlap. We didn't really see Porter Jr. play late into the halves. He kind of just had his middle rotation, and that was that. So that's tough. You need to see that come up. Certainly don't drop him because we know Wall and or Depot, who has a lot of trade rumors right now. He would if Depot gets traded, Kevin Porter Jr. will see 30 minutes, and you'll be running him out there all the time. Daniel House, I've been talking about him. He's been pretty productive. They really like him as their main on-ball defender. Same with Jayshawn Tate, who's a little bit up and down. And then Christian Wood, baller, no surprise. Expected to probably be a full go. He's probably going to play a ton. With one or both of the guys out tomorrow, man, Christian Wood could really eat in a great matchup. Pelicans get the win without Lonzo Ball, whose name is popping up in trade rumors, so we'll see what happens with that. Nikhil Alexander-Walker got to start, played monster first half. A little bit quiet in the second half, but still got it done with 20 points defensive stats on pretty good shooting, 31 minutes. Got to feel good about that, at least until Lonzo gets back. Do you hold Lonzo out till the deadline? Probably, right? Josh Hart also, as expected, picks up playing time. The guy just fills the minutes no matter what happens. Brandon Ingram was really the star of the show. Just dominated late. Totally aggressive. Got into the paint late in the game. Zion, really, really good effort from him too. Got to the line 14 times. Zion's just good. Really, really, really good. Celtics get the win against the Magic. Game was a little bit closer than you would have thought. The Magic made a little bit of a run at the third and fourth quarter, but Jaylen Brown with his 10 threes, 34 points, just shot the freaking lights out. Tatum, big first half, scored 19, didn't do much in the second half. That's fine. Kemba also, quiet first half, finally got it going in the second half. And also Daniel Tice, man, he's played great the last couple games, and then we were ragging on him. So he's really responded to what happened. That's obviously not great for Mr. Time Lord, but you still can't really drop Time Lord if you're playing a competitive league, just because even in 14 minutes he could still do some serious damage. We'll see what happens when Tristan Thompson comes back, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The Magic get James Ennis back, who played great, but they lose another one. This team's got to be looking to sell off. Evan Fournier is probably going to get a market. Obviously, there's Aaron Gordon rumors everywhere. There's really not a lot of great stashes. I guess Chumokiki if you're in a deep league, but his upside hasn't been great. It hasn't been as encouraging per minute as we would have hoped. But, yeah, kind of just keep an eye on this team. But they've got to make some moves. There's just no reason they shouldn't be sellers at the deadline with how poorly they're playing right now. Nets get Blake Griffin. Blake dunks and has a block on Bradley Beal. Pretty solid game overall. The stat line wasn't there, obviously. It's not going to be. Blake's not really that player anymore. But Nick Claxton, man, he said, I see your Blake Griffin, and I raise you arguably my best game of the season. 16 points, 3 blocks of steal, 3 boards, just dominated inside. Ran the floor. I mean, this guy runs the floor so freaking well. And it's worth noting that Blake was functionally more of a 4, which is great. So that may be the case until they get KD back. So I think Claxton could kind of hang around until KD comes back, and we don't know when that is. Maybe it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They're in no rush. This team is headed for what's going to look like a number 1 seed. They have enough firepower that even without KD, they're arguably the best team in the league. Harden got hit in the head. Said it kind of jarred up his jaw a little bit, but obviously returned, looked good. Kyrie's just insane. But yeah, this team's arguably the best team in basketball right now. Wizards play a close one here. Monster Russ line. What else is new? Rui Hachimura. I've said this many times. Scott Brooks says he wants to be the number 3 scorer, and he's kind of coming out looking like that guy. Alex Len also was fantastic. Great smash spot for him. Maybe he can keep it going. Not the greatest pickup, but yeah, I mean he's gaining ground. To put it, I guess that way. Beal struggled today. Garrison Matthews was really busy on James Harden as a primary defender. Certainly, you're not adding him. He's not really a stat guy. Cavs beat the Raptors. Not much to say. Colin Sexton, 36 points, just got downhill all game. And he's very much a rhythm player. When the Cavs are doing well, he's going to score. Larry Nance, continues to lock down the minutes. Big kind of a bounce back game from Jared Allen. Dean Wade sneaking in there for minutes, and JaVale McGee straight back up to Jared Allen, which is nice because he was kind of losing some center minutes at times. Raptors dropped their 8th straight. Someone's going to win between the Raptors and Rockets tomorrow. Nick Nurse goes small again with the Siakam OG frontcourt. He likes that lineup for defense. That is going to affect Chris Boucher a lot. He'll be up and down. The ups will certainly outweigh the downs, so you keep him on your roster and you just deal with it. But yeah, the guards are playing a ton. They're going to play a bunch. This team needs a couple wins here before the deadline, so we'll see if that affects Kyle Lowry or maybe something else that's down that we haven't heard about. The 76ers Knicks OT game was drunk. Going to save the late games for the solo pod, so check back for that today. Let's get to the ad page. A lot of guys. I'm assuming Moses Brown, Josh Hart, Miles Bridges, Devontae Graham, those guys are all on rosters. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, 5%. Like, he has to be added until the deadline, really. We know he could ball. And he's kind of ahead of Kyra Lewis now, and the Pelicans, they got to win today, but they're certainly not locked into Lonzo. Lots of trade rumors on him. Nick Claxton, maybe Blake's a 4. Maybe Blake's a straight 4. Maybe he's cutting into Bruce Browns and the other guys because he's good. He deserves playing time. Isaiah Roby's got to be added in more leagues, 9%. His minutes are pretty safe, at least until Darius Basie comes back. Same with Daniel House. Like, sure, shallow leagues he's not that great, but deeper leagues, this guy's a pretty good bet for top 100 value, especially if Oladipo gets traded. Malik Monk, he's the guy you would want in a competitive league from the LaMelo fallout. Shake's the guy you want from the Seth Curry fallout. Taylor Horton-Tucker would be the guy I want from the LeBron James fallout. Lots of injuries this weekend, guys. Isaac Okoro playing much better, and maybe they unload some guys. Maybe Larry Nance gets traded. Maybe some other guys get traded to open up him some more playing time. Markieff Morris just fine. Alex Len, Robin Lopez is on an expiring deal. Maybe he gets freed up playing better. Alex Caruso also same thing. Point guard. Taylor Horn-Tucker's going to be more of a 2, so he's the guy I would look at. Dean Wade, I mentioned if Larry Nance gets traded, Wade's proven he can be decent. So deep league kind of flyer. Trevor Ariza getting minutes. We know he's a second half player. Certainly going to be up and down, but he'll cut into Kelly Olynyk. You're just straight up lottery ticket here. So catch you guys on the solo pod.